the COVID-19 pandemic and recession have been sort of an economic asteroid that's hit us. For state and local governments, the initial shocks from the pandemic and recession have been worse than the initial shocks from the Great Recession. Personal income tax collections declined about 40%, sales taxes declined about 12%, and overall taxes were down about 30%. But some of these declines are only temporary. So the federal government, when the pandemic first hit, extended income tax filing deadlines until July, and states soon followed.
If you wind back the clock to March 2020, which now seems like it was years ago, cities were focused on about 5 different things at the state level. These efforts, while they have saved lives, have resulted in deep and devastating hits on local budgets, not just here in California, but nationwide. We now have, as Tracy has mentioned, significant unplanned expenditures for a pandemic that no one could have seen coming. And we're also facing, due to the shutdowns of our local economies, pretty severe revenue shortfalls. By our count, they're to the tune of $7 billion over the next 18 months for California local governments. Obviously, sales make up the biggest chunk of those revenues, but there are also a whole host of other revenues that have been disrupted by COVID-19. What kinds of services at the local level will be impacted? I can tell you that 9 in 10 cities or local governments are projecting that they will have to either cut services or cut staff. What this slide shows is that no community is being spared and no part of the state is being spared when it comes to budget shortfalls, meaning we're going to have to cut back in services.
I've talked with more federal staffers, analysts, policymakers in the last 6 months than maybe the last couple of years of my career. And I have to say, it's been really gratifying how much they already know and care about the state and local sector. If anything, they have a vested interest in making sure that the programs that they care about are reaching their intended recipients. One legacy of the Great Recession was much better intergovernmental coordination and understanding. And I'm hopeful that that'll be a legacy of this crisis as well.